Hello everyone, we're at Automate 2023 and we're at the Universal Robots booth and we're catching up once again with Joe Campbell. And Joe does lots of things for UR, among which is talking to people like us about
I'm happy to do that. That's always the best part of the show.
We talked a year ago at this very show, and so much has gone on during that year. And,
it's been a busy year.
You guys, you've changed the design of the robots. You've introduced the UR20, and there's more to come. But catch us up, if you would, just into 2023.
Well, I think the UR20 was a big launch for us.
Yeah.
We're gearing up now for heavy production shipments. What makes it so interesting is it is a radical new design. It's not just a bigger, and longer, and stronger robot. All the joint architecture has been redesigned. We actually took out half of the part count, which is an incredible accomplishment by the mechanical team.
Yeah.
So we're really expecting great things. It's our fastest robot. It just opens up more applications for us than even before. So that was big.
You even routed some of the external wiring internally, correct?
Completely. All the cable harnesses have been redone, the base has been redone, and everything is going to be redone. Now, what's important about that is kind of the baseline for all of our next generation products.
Okay.
The engineering team has got their hands full finishing up the 20 and getting it into full production, but there will be other products with that same architecture.
Okay. One gets the picture of someone going in and saying, "Okay, guys, we have a blank slate.
Yeah, let's start over."
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. We set really aggressive goals, and because we knew we just didn't want to iterate the product, we really needed to take that next step. So for us, this is the 5th generation robot. And what's interesting about that for anybody in the machinery business is every generation is a step jump in performance and reliability and features, and we're on to step number 5. And it will be very, very successful for us. I think the other thing that's really evolved this year is this emergence of application solutions built on our platform. And you can see it in our booth here at the show. We've got arc welding solutions. We're introducing the first spot welder. It's going to be very successful product. We've got dispensing solutions, material handling, machine tending, case packing, palletizing. The key is they're all leveraging the UR platform. And the platform really has 2 components to it. It's got our world famous ease of use front end. Users feel extremely comfortable approaching the product and setting it up. But on the back end, there is a highly sophisticated development environment. And that's where the product development is really important. So when you see a welding cell, for example, that really simplifies all this complex welding, that was all built on the platform, and it's built with our high-performance development. That's been a real
software, and it is. I mean, that's one thing that's helping you guys march forward so quickly, I think.
It is because at the end of the day, and I am definitely an old robot guy. People really don't want to buy robots; they want to buy solutions.
Yeah,
the way you get solutions is to engage with subject matter experts who really know how to solve a very narrow set of process problems.
You have a whole program like that, right?
It's called UR Plus.
Yeah.
It started off years ago, basically for peripherals and accessories. We were really focused on grippers and sensors and things like that. Over the years, it's evolved to the point now that program encompasses near total solutions, like arc welding or spot welding, or dispensing, or palletizing. And I think that's going to be key to this next generation of growth for us.
I mean, I remember that program was the old way when I first met UR, and I didn't meet UR that long ago. So
no, it's really evolved quickly. It really is. And I think it's not just because we think it's a good idea, but our customer base is telling us it's a good idea. They're voting with orders, and that's how you can tell you're doing the right thing. Customers want it.
Speaking of which, I mean, you've been in the States for a while, but it hasn't been anywhere near as long as a lot of competitors here. Tell us about your growth curve. What's that? You don't have to do numbers, but percentages. How's that been?
Yeah, I would tell people I can't speak too specifically. You can always take a look at the Teradyne earnings calls and earnings reports. But yeah, we what I will say is we still anticipate heavy growth in this cobot space.
Yeah.
Teradyne's new CEO, Greg Smith, actually did an analysis that is, some of it's very empirical and some of it is a little bit of back of the napkin, with their fair judgment calls. And he believes that we have not penetrated, not even close to 10% of the cobot market. He thinks it's actually less than 5% of the available opportunities. And we think those opportunities are going to keep coming because, I talk about it all the time, the manufacturing labor situation is not.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, for the next 5 years, I can't see this doing anything except doubling, maybe twice.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I think the number that shocked me that I looked at was in the first quarter, the total economy had about 900,000 jobs, but only 1.4% of those were in manufacturing.
Wow.
Right, so we're still really having trouble attracting younger generations to come into the manufacturing, into factories. And, part of solving that problem is to get rid of the dull, dirty, and dangerous jobs. Let the technology be interesting and attractive. And that's how we're going to attract people.
Yeah. What about the? I mean, we're going to hit a point where the people you sell to are buying this the way that they would buy a hammer, or you know what I'm saying? They're not there yet.
It's getting close, and that's what we call. It's a concept is cobot as a tool.
Right.
And so if you're a contract fab shop, weld shop, you got a lot of different tools in your portfolio, and cobot can just be one of them. Same with packaging. It's just a tool. You deploy it where you need it. The key is to keep it flexible enough to redeploy very quickly and easily. I mean, that's back to that whole easy use paradigm. It really makes a difference. The truth is 90% of the businesses, the manufacturing businesses in the U.S. have less than 100 employees.
That's correct.
These are not companies that are going to have a robotics department. Or advanced robot programmers on stage.
Right.
That's not what they want. They're in the business of welding, packaging, assembly, and they want to buy tools for those particular sets of applications.
And despite the fact that the U.S. market is one of mass customization, right?
Still.
So, but even like a cobot welder. You grab the thing, you do some endpoints, hop in the software, and there's one job, and you can put 100 jobs in there in probably a couple days' time.
Well, so the old paradigm always was, when you try to sell automation into a high mix, low volume shop. I don't care if it was welding or assembly or packaging. The old adage was, I can do it faster than you can program it.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's flipped.
Right.
That is absolutely flipped now because you mentioned welding. You can set up a new weld or a bracket or a medium complexity part in a matter of minutes.
Exactly.
And at that point, now you're ready to knock out a number. It's also interesting, to talk about welding and specifics. Welders don't like that. They don't want to make 300 brackets in a day.
Right.
They just don't.
Yeah.
Because it's not very satisfying.
Well, a lot of welders are very right-brain people. That they produce art that they weld. And I can see where that would be. It's a medium for them.
Yeah. And they want to work on complex weldings.
Yeah.
Well, which is actually good for the weld shop because those are the higher margin jobs.
Right.
Rather than the 300 brackets, which you have to do.
Right.
So our philosophy is let's knock out the easy stuff and let your skilled welders work on the complex stuff. And that whole formula follows into injection molding or packaging, secondary operations, really throughout the industry.
what kinds of questions, and this will be my last question, but what kinds of questions are people bringing to you that you're really hearing those things and going, it might hint toward what you will be doing in the future?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is the more complex applications. One area of small growth, but huge potential we're seeing is in building trades. Building trades.
Oh, all right.
Construction.
Interesting. Yeah.
So we have a partner out in the West Coast called Canvas. And they have actually built a system to do drywall finishing. Now, if you've ever done remodeling at your house,
I need one right now.
the drywall portion is the worst.
It's horrible.
Right? And so they've come up with a Class A drywall finishing system.
Wow.
Another company, Hilti, has come up with an overhead hammer drill system for mounting pipes and racks and hangers overhead. Now, you think about that. Before automation, you had a guy on a scaffold with a hammer drill with his hands above his head. This is not a good day. But now we're automating it. So I think we're going to see that trend continue because they're still having difficulty in the construction of the building trades business attracting workers.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Again, drywall, dull, dirty, and dangerous by definition.
Yes.
Another company called Okibo is doing painting with a similar model. Wheeled mobile cart, mobile autonomous robot, Angela room. Define the room by CAD. The system scans the room to validate the orientation and the dimensions, and it applies the paint. Sprays it or rolls it.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of the new construction is spray now, where the guy just lets it go.
Yep. So I think those are things that are going to see emerging.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Which will be very interesting.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, I can't wait to see what's up later this year at FabTech with you guys. There's always something new.
There's going to be more. It'll be new.
Yeah.
You bet.
Good. Nice to see you, Joe.
Thanks, Dave. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks to see you.
Okay.